All right, all right, all right. We have made it to slide 7. Only 3 more to go after this. Woohoo! So we are going to take a look at those pictures that you guys took of something that was important to you somewhere in the building. So we're going to take that and put that on our timeline. There's mine. Notice if you also just like push the clip to the end, if you need to just scroll, it'll scroll for you. Okay, so I'm going to put mine. Yikes. It's being really, really goofy again. Okay, there we go. I'm going to trim this up a little bit real quick too. Okay, so put the clip there of one of your group members, what's important to them. And then our next step is all right, so you're going to be recording a voiceover. I want that person to record themselves explaining why they took that picture. So if you want to do a voiceover, there's different ways to do it. This is probably one of the best ways to do it. All right, so if you want to record a voiceover, you're going to put your playhead where you want the voiceover to be inserted. If you don't remember this step, not a big deal. We can fix it later. And I haven't really done this a whole ton either, so I might mess up. Hopefully I don't though. All right, when you want to start your voiceover, you're just going to come up here and make sure you're in your media, the file folder there, and you're going to select this mic right here. And then if it asks you to use your microphone, of course, allow it. And then when you're ready, go ahead and click the red mic. It's counting down, and then you'll start. I chose this picture because in the picture, it is everything that's important to me. So my kids are in there, my husband, my dog, so that's why I chose that picture. When you're done, hit that stop button there, and then I believe you just click this check mark. And see how it says saving recording to server, and then you'll see now here is your recording. Of course, you want to preview it, make sure that it is what you want it to be. I always like to back it up just a wee bit. I'm going to hit play, we'll see if it works, and then you'll start. I chose this picture because, okay, I think that you guys should be able to hear that. What you're going to want to do though is if your picture is not as long as your voice recording, obviously you're going to want to stretch your picture out so that it remains throughout the duration of your recording. That's why I chose that picture. Okay, so that's how you do a voiceover. All right, so go ahead and pause that now and insert your voiceover. And then when you're done with that, come back to the tutorial. Okay, so once you're done with your voiceover, now we're going to take that same image and we're going to crop it. So we're going to come back here. Now, I had to add this in after the fact, so my track no longer is going to look like it did before. But here's the image that I went ahead and threw in here that we're just going to crop and do these next few steps with. So right now you can't see that voiceover because it's not here for now, but don't worry about that. Yours will look a little different. All right, so this is actually a picture of my oldest daughter that I just found to throw in here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and double click it. And then this window will appear. And this is your cropping icon right here. So you're going to go ahead and click that. And then in this case, let's just say for some reason I want to crop it from the top, and maybe I want to crop out whoever that person is. Maybe I could crop it a little from the bottom. So go ahead now and crop that image. Pause me and do that. And you didn't really need to hit save changes yet, because the next two things that we're going to be doing, you're going to be staying on this same screen here. So next up, we're going to change the color of the image. So if you come over here, down at the bottom, you can see right there where it says color. Click that. Now you can see as soon as I changed commands, the cropping did take place. Now with your color, this is where you can increase the brightness, you can do the contrast, the hue, the saturation. So if you want, go ahead and take a couple minutes to kind of play around with that. Everything starts, just so you know, everything starts at 0.
So if you make a change and you're like, oh no, I don't like that, just put it back to 0, and that's where it initially was when it started. Or also, if you do a bunch of changes and you're like, oh my word, what did I do? How do I get back to the beginning? You can just hit reset down here at the bottom, and that'll take them all back to 0. So go ahead now, pause me, play around with the color a little bit, and when you come back, we'll add that animation. We are at the last step now on this slide. We're going to add an animation to that same exact image. So you should still be on this screen. If not, if you had hit save changes, just go ahead and double click on the link again that's in the track, and this will open up. And you're going to come right here to where it says animations. Now, this part is a little tricky. So basically what you're doing is you're giving this piece of media an animation, which is going to determine how it behaves while it's on the screen. And there's so many ways you can do this. So this is what you're looking at here. See how it says so in your starting position, you're going to determine what size you want it to be and where do you want it to start on the screen. So for this particular one, I am going to have it start from small and go to big. So that's your scale. So I'm just going to drag this down. I'm going to make it that small. And then I'm going to leave it in the same position. And then I'm going to choose my end position. And then I'm going to make it bigger. So then what I can do, that's a little too big for my liking. Put that down a wee bit. Maybe a little more. There we go. So what I can do then is I can hit play and see what that's going to look like if I choose to keep it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and you'll see it starts from small, and then throughout the duration of the clip, it is slowly transitioning from the size that I set it to start with to the size that I set it to end with. Now the other way you can do that, I'm going to change that back and show you just another example of how you could do that. Oopsie. You could have it start. Let me hit reset. There we go. You could have it start. So this is the positioning of it. You could have it start like on the left side of the screen. So I'm going to have it start over here. In this case, I am going to pay attention to these numbers because you've got your x-axis that says 5 and your y-axis that's 97. I'm going to want it to go straight across this screen. So if you know anything mathematically, if I hit my grid, this is my x-axis. Sorry, the long one's x, the horizontal one's x, the vertical one is y. I want it to go along my x-axis. So I'm having to go from one side of the screen to the other. So I'm actually going to keep my y value the same. So I want that to be at 97 when it ends. So I'm going to hit end position. I'm going to drag it to the other side of the screen where I want it to end. And I'm going to make sure my y still says 97. I'm going to hit enter. So that should stay in the same position. And now I'm going to play it. And now you can see the difference in animations. So again, there's tons of different ways that you can do an animation. I just kind of gave you a real quick rundown. You're basically just selecting a starting position or size or both, selecting an ending position or size or both, and then throughout the duration of the clip, that it'll go from your beginning to your end. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And that is the end of that slide. So at this point, you can go ahead and hit save.